What's happening, y'all? Thank you for being here with me. Yo, I'ma just get straight. Wow. This is a disappointing loss. But I think at this point we all know a couple things. And I myself learned a couple things from this. Stefanski, we're gonna have to talk about you letting go of the reins on calling the plays. You I don't know how focused you are. You don't really seem focused. We had a lot of successful running plays, and you put it this way, Stefanski, you're not playing to our strengths, you're playing to our weaknesses. You got Dorian Thompson passing for 30, 40 times a game when that passing is not our strength. It's not our strength. Running is our strength. That's why you went back and you got Kareem, not just so we can have another running back, because we got Strong, who fumbles occasionally. But it's not even that. It's not that he is a good back. Because Kareem is rough. He's the fight. He's going to do what it takes. But it's not about Kareem. It's not about Strong or Ford specifically. It's about running the ball. We design more stuff to have more ways to run the ball, and then when it gets tough, you abandon that. You just want to go for the straight pass because we're running out of time. You feel like you press for time. So those are the type of plays that you call it. And that's why when it gets in these kind of situations, we end up not being able to recover from behind. DTR probably wouldn't have his lip bust if he wasn't trying to pass in this crazy situation from back towards the end zone. Then we get a safety for what? For no reason. We got that safety for no reason. There was no reason. We had 3 minutes left. 2 minutes left. We still could have ran the ball and got some consistency. Maybe could have broke one. But you didn't even let Ford get 20 carries in this game. Killing us. I saw this last week. Another point. I saw this last week. Now it's exposed. I don't know why. But our receivers, we got to carry the ball, man. We got to catch the ball. We're not catching the ball. Point blank period. Lot of drops. Russell only had 22 attempts. We had 34 attempts. Russell completed 13. DTR completed 14. They both had the same amount of yards, 134 yards. Russ didn't even get out of 100 yards until the fourth quarter. And in the fourth quarter, it was only 35 yards that he made him passing. So that shows that we still have that strength to keep powerful offenses in check. But on the other side of the ball, these weaknesses are opening up because we don't have consistency in the quarterback area. Bruh, now I'm a long-time Browns fan. And making it want to gag. Sorry. Because Flacco, I can't see Flacco in a Browns uniform. But at that point, they put PJ Walker in. I was like, man, suit Flacco up. Suit him up. I can't do it. Bro. I cannot do it. We gotta change that alternative. PJ Walker's too pass happy. He's way too happy to pass. 6 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. 16 interceptions. No, bro. No. Not at all. It's unacceptable. Now we only 4 losses on for the season. So I'm cool with that. But we gotta Stefanski gonna have to realize that can kill the game. He's killed some good games. He's killed some games, some winnable games this year. And in a lot of the games, he didn't win with his coaching. So I got a lot of people. Buckeyes big. He don't really care for the fancy play calling. I think he's good as a coach, but when it comes to his play calling, I think he needs to release the reins. You gotta release the reins. Overall, DTR played great today. He was showing some really great shining moments in that first half. He was doing pretty good. I would have liked to see us complete more balls. I think Njoku dropped a lot. Coop dropped a lot. And I think it's also because they're not used to have to come back to the ball. Like as a receiver, sometimes you on your route and a quarterback may throw that ball not where you want on the money because there's something that you can't see. There's a defender on this side coming and he's about to take you out, and he's trying to guide you back a little bit by throwing it at a certain angle that's either down or a little away from you so you can come back to it. And I don't think that they're used to that. We saw a couple good throws. Some of the throws were a little off. They were a little down, but some of them were right on the money. He threw some really impressive passes through some guys, and some of them were down to protect them, and they didn't catch him. I don't know if they even saw it that way, but for sure, that's what that was. So if we can get a handle on that and bring that back to where it's supposed to be, we're going to be in business. I don't know what DTR is going to look like for next week, but I would like to see DTR keep playing, because every time he's playing, he just gets better. He just gets increasingly better. So I like what I'm seeing from him. I just want to see him get his confidence up. And a lot of in these last two games, you just see him consistently improving, going up against some tough competitors. So I would like to see that. I hope he's not too rattled by what happened, but they're gonna take some cheap shots, and you got to learn how to duck, get up out of them cheap shots. And I don't even think that he trusts his feet enough, because he got wheels too. He needs to trust his feet a little more to be able to get up out of there and think of himself as a runner in that aspect too. I think he's not really thinking of himself as a runner. So if he can grasp that concept, I think we can still reach the playoffs, which is kind of what I think we should be adjusting our goal to. We need to reach the playoffs. Even in spite of everything that's going on, we still have to have that goal, Now, with the other things that are going on, Zadarius Smith, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know what's going on with Miles, but Miles was obviously hurt. And I don't know what happened to Coop. But Zadarius, Miles, Coop, Denzel, we got a lot that needs to be covered now. And a lot of people got to step up to the plate. And we're playing off second and thirds, and we're competing with the best in the NFL. So we know that we're not in a position of, just total trash. We're like recycled trash right now, like a little recycled, But of our stars that are left, you got to step up big. Njoku, he was hard on himself last week, but he got to step up big. He got to step up big next week. And that was another thing too, because one of Denver's weaknesses is against tight ends. And as you see, as we started to punch it to Njoku, he was making significant strides, but he was dropping a lot of major passes. So that's another thing too. If he can consistently, get a grab, because they don't have no chemistry. They keep switching quarterbacks, man. That's 3 quarterbacks in one season. They don't have consistency with one guy. So I can't even fault them too much. But I think they've done a phenomenal job with what they have been able to do because they have to learn so many people, and the quarterbacks have to learn, it's so much in and out, next man up, and we've still been winning this way. This is virtually impossible. Like, this ain't the Steelers. They just have a horrible quarterback and they just working with it because Tomlin knows that what it takes as far as defense is concerned in AFC North football. So he's just playing to his strengths. He don't try to do a whole lot. That's not the identity of the team. Our identity was already set. Our identity is the run. That's why we're able to do what we did with Baker, being there, not being there, OBJ being there, not being it. Our identity is the run. It's not to pass 40 times a game. There's no reason that, I don't care if we will go 3 and out the first 3 times. Punch the ball. You got to punch them until they get weak. And that really goes for anybody, because you can't be one-dimensional at a certain point. We get one-dimensional when it's 3rd and 2 and it's a 5-receiver set out there with nobody. Bruh, we don't need that. We don't need it. So the more we keep doing this stuff, all we doing is making ourselves weak if the quarterback is not going to be the runner. There's no threat there. There's no threat. So that's just things we got to work on, man. Hopefully next week we're looking a little tighter, a little more confident. I pray that everybody doesn't have a major injury, and it's unfortunate what happened to DTR in that game. And it's unfortunate that they didn't call that a personal foul, because that's not a clean hit. If it was a clean hit, his helmet would have never hit into his chin and did that to his mouth. It just doesn't it don't really make sense. And probably when they see it and review it, they probably will think differently too. But we gotta work on that stuff right there. I don't expect our offense to be perfect, because you can't. We don't have our people. We don't have our starters. Without your starters, you can't. This is just things you can't expect. So, going forward, these are the things that I just feel we need to look at. And Lord, if it gotta be Flacco at the helm, it gotta be Flacco, because if you ever ridden a horse, the horses can feel when you don't feel confident. And that's what's happening to this offense. They can't click, and they can't get a consistency, because there's no consistency in the driver's helm. Whether it's a wild consistency, a great consistency, it doesn't matter. It just changes too often. 7-4, man. We'll get it back. Ravens are going to be on a bye next week. So because they're on a bye, now we're like a game and a half behind. But nonetheless, we behind. And the Steelers won. So we got to maintain. Lastly, these ain't the same old Browns, so let's not be the same old Browns fans. Feel me? Let's keep some positivity. Dawgz gotta eat. Like and subscribe, all of that. Thank y'all for checking me out. I'm gone.